Hello Aries, welcome to your weekly tarot reading here on Dove and Serpent Tarot. This is for the week of January 1st through 7th, 2023. Happy New Year. Please like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. Now we're going to take a look into your general energies. What is it that you need to know? What is the most important situation going on in your life right now? What is the message that is coming through for you? Well, we've got that Prince of Swords. Let's find out what exactly is going on there. We're going to use our Dove and Serpent spread to get this situation expanded a little bit. A lot of court cards today. We're going to do our mystery card, bonus card, confirmation card, whatever you want to call it. We're going to select, well, let's select the Ancient Italian Tarot today. This is pre-shuffled. We're going to take one card from somewhere in the middle randomly. We're going to leave that right there. We're not going to look at that until the very end of the reading. And hopefully that will, tie everything together and give us the confirmation that we're looking for at the very end of the reading. Okay. So the first thing we do see, and I want to point this out, is the Emperor. This is your patron card. This is the card that represents Aries. So this is, no matter what we see in this reading today, it's going to have a very good outcome. It's going to have you in control of things. It's going to have you with a sense of power, a sense of authority, a sense of responsibility, but one that's going to be very much in line with your goals and your intentions, right? But let's see how we get there, because there, like I said, there are a lot of court cards here today. The first two we see are these two. This is the Queen of Discs over here and the Prince of Swords on that side. So we do see some other air cards here, so I wonder if there's an air sign person that isn't very, very prominent in your life right now. I feel like there's something going on with this air person. And again, they could have an A name or an A in their initial somewhere. I'm getting a strong sense of A. I'm getting a strong sense of a lot of air as well. Okay. So with this air energy, I think it's an air sign person, or it's someone with whom you have just like constant communication. I don't know if like this is your person, if this is a business associate, if this is a friend or a family member, but I feel like the two of you are like always on the phone, or you're always texting, or you're always communicating. Okay, I feel like there's just kind of this like non-stop communication with them. Okay, and the situation that's going on this week is with this air sign person, there's going to come a moment where you have to kind of say, look, enough is enough. I need to start getting stuff done. Okay. I don't know if this person is just a distraction to you, if they are, you've just gotten kind of caught up in this back and forth, this interaction with them that seems to be nonstop. Okay. I'm getting a very strong sense that it's just like real constant communication. But with this Queen of Discs, I'm feeling like this week you have to kind of say, look, I got to get back to business. I got to get back to work. I have to start pursuing my goals. I have to start working on these things. I need to shift my focus, right? I can't be on the phone all day. I've got to start doing what I need to do for my success, okay? And again, with all of these air cards that we have here, I just feel like it's going to be either a difficult situation for you to get out of, to kind of break this routine of like, constantly talking, or they're not really going to leave you alone in that way. I feel like they're going to continue to just kind of bug you, or to just call you all the time, to the point where you're having to kind of put your foot down. You're having to use this Queen of Discs energy and just kind of put your foot down and say, look, I need to get back to business. What we see in the recent past is a Four of Cups. I think that there was, in the recent past, maybe the last few months, there was some incident that happened. Maybe you got out of a relationship, you got out of not a bad situation, but you got out of a not so good situation, okay? It just could have been a relationship that didn't really work out. It could have been a loss of a job that was, you were kind of hopeful about, but it didn't work out. I don't see you being really too upset about what happened, but I feel like it maybe freed up some of your time a little bit. You know, I just feel like it was a good situation that you were in. It wasn't super exciting. Now it's kind of over and you're just like, meh, okay. It's, you know, it's over now. So with the Four of Cups here, it seems like you just got out of something that wasn't the greatest. And that could be when you opened up this communication with this air sign person who, again, I'm getting this feeling like they're constantly dialing in. You know, they're just constantly calling or constantly texting. And I don't know if it's maybe a person from back here that was involved in this situation or not. I don't see any of an indication that this is a romantic thing. Okay, I don't see this as like a love relationship in any way, but now that we bring that up, there aren't any other water energies here. There are no other cups here. So I wonder if it was maybe a romantic thing, or this air sign person wanted it to be. Okay, or they maybe are more upset about this situation kind of ending, or you getting out of this not so good situation, relationship. Again, it could be professional, could be personal. Maybe they don't really want to see you go. Okay, so they're trying to keep the communication going. They're really trying to stick with you, and that's maybe why we feel all of this communication coming, all of this air energy just coming your way like constantly, right? But again, with this earth energy, I feel like it's your opportunity this week to put a stop to this and just say, look, I've got to move on to better things. I've got to focus on some of this earth energy, right? I got to focus on my goals, my success, what I need to do to reestablish my life or to continue building your life, you know? What we see in the immediate future, again, more of this air energy. Okay, this is the Knight of Swords. This is, again, just that kind of unceasing, that kind of relentless communication. These attempts to just keep calling, keep texting, keep like writing letters, sending telegrams, whatever they're doing. It just seems they're exhausting every effort to try to continue this conversation with you, to continue this relationship, this interaction. Okay, and again, they may be the person involved in this Four of Cups, this kind of blah situation that you were in, and you've kind of left there. If you left your job, you left the relationship, you left the friendship perhaps, and it's not really bothering you too much, but it seems to be bothering this air sign person quite a bit. And in the immediate future, even though you utilize your Queen of Discs, kind of, you know, your maturity, and you say, look, I've got to focus on some other things. I don't really have time for this right now. You try to do that in a very mature, grown-up, respectful way, right? I don't think they fall for it. I don't think they listen. Okay? This is a lot of fiery air energy. This is almost like the more you try to pull away, the more fierce they become in their attempts to communicate with you, right? I mean, this card is kind of verging on harassment, kind of. Okay, I don't want to take it there, but it's a little bit like, okay, this person really needs to stop texting me. Like, you're going to change your number, you know? And that's the immediate future. So I see that your initial attempt to be like, look, please leave me alone, doesn't really work. Okay, but let's continue on the path of the dove here. We see above everything else a Two of Swords. This is really your highest goal. This is your aspiration right now. It's just for this person to leave you alone. This is like an X, just like a stop. Like, just, that's enough. Okay, you need to cut it out. And this, like I said, this is kind of your aim. This is your goal. I don't see the immediate future really lining up with your goal too well. Okay, this is what you want. This is what's probably going to happen in the short term. Okay, but keep that in mind, right? Don't allow this person. The thing with the swords here is that they like to try to convince you of something else, whatever it may be. So they're trying to just kind of weasel their way back into your life, right? And I think it's becoming a little too much. I think it's quite annoying at this point, all right? beneath everything, we see a Two of Wands. So this is when some of your Aries energy starts to come out, right? This is that unconscious striving, this kind of unconscious drive, this unconscious strength that you have. This is like your foundational Aries energy. That's just saying, look, if I can't ask you nicely to stop and communicate in this respectful way, to just cut it out, leave me alone, you're going to have to be a little bit more assertive. I was going to say forceful, but no, a little more assertive. And this is, you know, maybe raising your voice a little bit. This might be, you know, telling them, if you don't leave me alone, I'm going to, you know, block you. I'm going to change my number. I'm going to do whatever is within the bounds of the law and my rights as a human being to get you to leave me alone. I don't think it's going to come to that. I see this person as more of a pest than anything. You know, with all of this air energy, it feels like they're just like this fly that won't go away. You know? And you may have to use a little bit more of your Aries energy, be a little bit more assertive. But this is beneath the surface. This is your foundation. So you know you've got that in reserve, this energy, this fiery energy, that you can get a little heated. You can raise your voice. You can get a little angry if you need to. But you're in control of this, right? This is your reserve Aries energy. If this person won't take no for an answer, they won't leave you the heck alone. You know, you can just tap into a little bit of that fire, you know. But again, in the short term, I don't feel like this reasonable request is there. I don't think they're going to hear it. Okay, I think they're going to keep buzzing around. But let's look at the path of the Serpent now, because we see some more kind of interesting energy here. The first thing that we do see is another Swords court card, the Queen of Swords. I think this is your general energy right now. I mean, it's in the position of your general energy. But what this is signifying is your clear resolution to break with this person. Okay, it could be that after this Four of Cups event, this situation, could be that you still tried to remain friends with this person. You still tried to talk to them, and you know, you text back and forth, and it maybe just started building up more often and more often. You'd go from like a couple of texts every day to like suddenly they're blowing up your phone, blowing up your Facebook, blowing up whatever, you know, your email. So I see that it's just kind of been building and building and building. And now your general energy, your understanding, what you're beginning to realize, I think, this week is that you need to cut it off. You need to just, like a Band-Aid, just make a very clear decision. Draw a line in the sand and say, no, you're not going to, no more. You know, it's a very, very definite, like, resolution or resolve to this thing. Okay, this is no like you tell them to leave you alone, but then you kind of maybe send them a couple texts or something later on, or whatever. You know, this is just absolute zero. There's no tolerance. There's just zero communication. Okay, and this is really just kind of cutting it off. Absolutely no questions about it. All right, I think this is what you're kind of getting towards, because I think all of this other air energy is just kind of, it's a little bit annoying. It's really kind of, it's really pushing your buttons, right? It's really like trying you, you know? And with this earth energy, I think this is kind of the situation that comes your way this week. Maybe you need to start focusing on other things. And this situation with this air sign person is just getting in the way of what you really need to be doing. Okay, you need to take control of your physical realm stuff, and you know, maybe you're going to be starting a new job, and the holidays are over, it's time to kind of get back to business. You've got a lot of things to do, and this person is just kind of an annoyance, right? They're just like a distraction. They're just taking away your time and energy from what you really need to be focusing on. Okay, and for some reason they don't seem to get it, or they're still too much wrapped up in this Four of Cups that they don't want to let that go. right? They don't want to let the cups go because, again, I don't see any other water energy here. There are no other cups in the reading today, so I feel like you don't have the same kind of desires or feelings or affections for this person that they might have for you, okay? For you, it was probably just trying to keep the friendship going, but now it's just getting weird. They're being a little creepy. They won't leave you alone, and you need to really just make the clear distinction. No ambiguity at all, just zero tolerance, okay? And then what we see next is quite interesting because this is some more of that air energy. This is the Fool card. And this is in the position of your relationships with other people, or with maybe this is that particular person. I said at the beginning that there was a lot of this air energy and that there might be an A named person involved, okay? And I still believe that. I think this might be representing this other person. And with the Fool here, I don't think they mean any harm, right? I don't think that they're a dangerous person. I don't think they're a threat or a risk. I think they're just kind of annoying. This is like that kind of, that silly friend that we all kind of had that has just a lot of energy and just likes to just play around and maybe is a little immature and just kind of doesn't know when to stop kind of playing games and messing around, you know? This is just someone who is not so aware of how other people see them, okay? This is someone who gets this feeling of joy or enthusiasm. They get like attached to you. They get very enthusiastic about you. And they don't know when to quit. And they don't know how they might be coming off to other people. Okay, so it could be it could be rather innocent. But that doesn't take away from the fact that they're just downright annoying and pestering and they need to quit. Okay, so don't be fooled by their kind of, you know, foolish innocence or foolish charm. Okay, you still have to regulate this air energy with this Queen of Swords and cut it right off. Zero tolerance, you know. But, you know, I am happy that we had this Fool card here to give us a little bit of insight into this other person, what their motivations might be or what they are kind of feeling. Again, I don't think that they mean any harm. I don't think they're trying to be annoying. They are probably just not very aware of themselves. That doesn't excuse the behavior, though. Okay? Does not excuse the behavior. So while they may have these very fine intentions, they need to take that shit somewhere else, you know. And again, I think maybe an A name, there might be an A somewhere in there. And this is that just kind of foolish person that just, you know, isn't really aware of how they're behaving, just gets filled with an idea and just doesn't know how to contain themselves. You know, they get really, really attached to this one idea of you, I think, or this relationship or the situation that you were in, and they don't know how to let it go. But you know what? That's their problem. They need to figure that out. You have to be responsible for your life and your responsibilities right now. So I think this situation needs to be cut off completely because you have other things you need to focus on, like this Ace of Discs. Okay, this is in your fears, worries, concerns. I think that you have something pending in your life now. It could be the start of a new job, could be, you know, a new member of the family, it could be you're moving, it could be just this new year, there's new responsibilities, new things that you want to begin. You know, these could be those New Year's resolutions. It could be those just new projects that you're starting right now. And your concern is that these will never get off the ground, that they will never get past their kind of seedling stage, okay? And with all of this air going on, I feel like this is kind of scattering all of your energy. The wind is just blowing these seeds all around where they can't sprout and take root. And that's the worry right now. That's the concern, is that this air BS is going to take away from your ability to get these seeds growing, get these projects started, and really start to do these things that you're setting out to do this week and these coming weeks and in the new year, etc. So that's the real focus for you. Okay, that's really, I mean, this is the two Earth cards that we have, and these are very, very important cards. I mean, the Queen of Discs and the Ace of discs, also called pentacles. These are very, very serious, very intense cards. Okay, this is someone here who is taking the responsibility to plant this seed, to get it to sprout, to watch it grow, to nourish it, to allow it to become something that it was meant to be, right? So this is a lot of responsibility, and this is you, I think, with this intense focus and this desire and this like maturity and this sense of responsibility and this eagerness to watch this thing grow. And this could be anything, like I said. It could be new projects, could be a new job, could be a new relationship. It could be any kind of creative project, your new home, whatever it may be. This is the focus, and all of this air energy is only distracting your focus from this manifestation of your intentions, right? Of what you are really adamant about doing this week, this new year, these coming months. I think you have a lot of projects going, a lot of things you want to start. And what it's all going to come down to, honestly, is that Emperor energy that we mentioned at the beginning. Okay, this is that Aries energy. This is being in complete control of your force and your fire. This is the potential that you have for this kind of assertiveness, right? This Two of Wands kind of getting a little bit angry if you need to, right? Raising your voice if you have to make sure your message gets across in no uncertain terms. The risk, however, of this is kind of taking it too far, going a little overboard. You have to have the right measure, and maybe this confirmation card, mystery card, is going to be the Temperance card. It could be. You have to keep this fire energy in check. You don't want to go to the extreme. You don't want to use too much or take it too far. You don't want to react. You don't want to react with too much of that force and fire. You know, you don't want to lose your temper. You don't want to lash out in an inappropriate way. You want to use just the right amount of force and fire to get your message across in a way that they are going to have no doubt, right? And I'm sorry this reading turned out to be, you know, all about how you have to get rid of this person, but I think that they're just like that fly that keeps buzzing around. And maybe you don't want to just smack the fly, right? You don't want to get the fly swatter out. Maybe you just need to threaten with the fly swatter a little bit and it'll take off. Maybe it'll get the message. But that's the business of the Emperor, is to know how much of that assertiveness to put forward, to know how much of that fire energy needs to be used in this situation. What is the appropriate measure here? Okay. Because again, I think you're kind of polite, please leave me alone. I don't think that is going to work, because we see that this Knight of Swords is kind of swooping back in with some of this fire energy. So they have a little bit of fire of their own, right? And I think you need to match it with this Emperor energy. And, you know, the Emperor is the authority. They're in control. They're the boss. And this is really you being the overseer of your own life, of your own business, of your own emotions, your own sovereignty, really. I mean, this person has no right to keep, if it is kind of a harassment situation, you know what I mean? They have no right to do that to you. So this is about taking the appropriate measures, blocking them, getting the, you know, hopefully it's not that extreme, but getting the restraining order if you need to. You know, do whatever you need to do to keep yourself safe and stable and secure and focused on your goals, because I feel like you do have these projects that are going on, these things that you want to begin this week and in the coming months. Probably some really big ideas you've got here. And hopefully next week we'll see some more of that energy, because I really, you know, I want to know, what are you creating over there? You know, what are you working on? But let's look at this confirmation card now, this mystery card. I still think this could be a Temperance energy, you know, an art card. It could be a lot of different things. It could be more of this earth energy to show that we are transitioning from this kind of pesky situation to something that's more focused on your goals, right? More goal-oriented. This could be some water energy. let's find out what we've got. Okay, well, we've got a 4 of swords here, and this is good. I think this is showing, I mean, it's more air energy, right? Which is kind of not what I was hoping for, but the 4 is good. The 4 is showing that there is going to be some rest after this. I think that this really is the confirmation that this situation with this pesky fool, right, whoever this fool is, it's going to stop. You're going to get a break, right? There's going to be a halt to this whole thing. You're going to get the mental break. Okay? So this is good. There's going to be some rest and some peace and some, I think it's going to stop. Okay? And I think really it's just about using the right amount of this Emperor energy, a right amount of your Aries energy, your force and fire, to put a stop to this thing. With the 4 here, there is always the potential for it to kind of rise up again. Right? This isn't like a permanent break, a permanent stoppage. This is at least a temporary respite, a temporary rest and recuperation mentally. But you always have to kind of be on guard to protect yourself with this Emperor energy, right? You don't want to lose vigilance. You want to remain aware and observant and kind of on alert in some ways for when this energy kind of pops back up, some of this air energy. Okay? But I think at least for now, I think you'll be able to rest assured that this person will get the message and things will stabilize. You'll get the break from all of this kind of BS. And I think that's a good confirmation. This wasn't what I was looking for. It wasn't some of that earth energy that I was hoping for. But I think the best that we can hope for this week is just to get this thing to stop, to get this person to quit just pestering you, right? It feels like there's just this fly that keeps buzzing around. And the more it buzzes around, the more just annoyed you get, the more agitated, the more this fiery energy starts to build up and wants to just smack it down, right? So it's better to kind of deal with this in a controlled way, an assertive and confident, but a controlled way, before it gets out of hand, before it really pushes you so far that you just kind of let loose on this fool. Anyway, this was, I'm sorry that it turned out this way, but I think getting through this kind of air here, clearing this stuff out of the way, is really going to make a nice path forward for you to start working on these projects and start manifesting whatever this earth energy is that you're trying to get off the ground. Okay? And hopefully next week we'll see some more of this earth energy and some of this fire energy being applied to that earth energy to get work started on those projects, We're going to take a look at some of this in the extended. If you want to become a member to the channel, you can click on the link in the description box. It's a great way to support the channel. It doesn't cost all that much. It's a few dollars a month to have access to all of the extended readings. It is a lot less than what some of the other tarot channels are charging. I don't like to speak on any other tarot channels because, as far as I'm concerned, this is the only one. And I thank you for watching these videos. I thank you for letting me read for you. It really is my passion and my pleasure to be able to do this for you every week. This was your weekly tarot reading for January 1st through January 7th. And I'll definitely see you again.